Hi, I'm Emily Johnson, an 18-year-old high school senior from a small town in Ohio. But maybe I'm not as typical as I seem. I've always been a bookworm, and it's paid off. I'm at the top of my class, with my sights set on the Ivy League. But life isn't always smooth sailing, especially when you have an Aunt Karen in the mix. Aunt Karen, Uncle Bob, and their kids live just down the street. You'd think having family nearby would be great, right? Well, not when your aunt seems determined to undermine everything you do. The other day, I was helping my cousin Tyler with his math homework when Aunt Karen walked in. She looked at us and said, "Well, isn't this cute? Emily, sweetie, don't you have your own studying to do? Can't waste time on lost causes." I tried to stay calm. "Aunt Karen, Tyler's doing great. He just needs a little help with fractions," she scoffed. "Please, we all know Tyler isn't going to be the next Einstein, unlike some people who think they're God's gift to academics." I bit my tongue and turned back to Tyler, who looked like he wanted to disappear. Poor kid. Later that week, I was hanging out with my best friend Sophia and my boyfriend Mike at the bookstore where I work part-time. Sophia was flipping through a magazine when she suddenly squealed, "Emily, look at this scholarship opportunity. It's perfect for you." Mike leaned over her shoulder. "Well, that's a big deal. You should totally go for it, Em." I hesitated. "I don't know, guys. It's super competitive." Mike gave me a playful shove. "Come on, Emily. You're the smartest person I know. If anyone can get it, it's you." Sophia nodded enthusiastically. "He's right. Plus, imagine Karen's face when you tell her you got nominated for a prestigious scholarship." I couldn't help but laugh at that. All right, I'll apply." A few weeks later, I found out I was nominated for the scholarship. I was over the moon but braced myself for Aunt Karen's reaction. At the next family dinner, I decided to share the news. My parents were beaming with pride, and even Uncle Bob seemed genuinely happy for me. But Aunt Karen? She looked like she'd just bitten into a lemon. "Well, isn't that nice?" she said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "I suppose we'll be hearing about this nonstop for the next few months." My mom jumped in. "Karen, this is a big deal. We should be celebrating Emily's hard work." Aunt Karen plastered on a fake smile. "Oh, of course. Congratulations, Emily. Let's hope you can live up to expectations." I sighed internally. This was supposed to be a happy moment, but leave it to Aunt Karen to stir up drama. Then the day of the big family gathering came. Everyone was there to celebrate my scholarship nomination. But I could feel Aunt Karen's eyes boring into me from across the room. As I was chatting with my cousins, she suddenly stood up, her face twisted with what looked like triumph. "I have something to say," she announced loudly, silencing the room. My heart started racing. What was she up to now? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I've discovered something shocking about our dear Emily. She pulled out a stack of papers. "I have proof that Emily has been cheating on her exams and assignments," she declared dramatically. "These are screenshots of her text messages discussing cheating methods." Chaos erupted. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. "That's ridiculous," I shouted, my voice shaking. "I've never cheated in my life." My mom rushed to my side. "Karen, what are you talking about? This is absurd." Aunt Karen waved the papers. "It's all here in black and white." I always knew she was too good to be true. Uncle Bob tried to calm things down. "Let's all take a deep breath. Emily, what do you have to say about this?" I was trembling with anger and disbelief. "Those messages are fake. I don't know where Aunt Karen got them, but they're not mine. I would never cheat." My dad, looking troubled, spoke up. "Emily, we believe you, but we need to look into this. These are serious accusations." I couldn't believe it. "Dad, you can't seriously think I'd do this." The family gathering dissolved into heated arguments, and I felt like I was drowning. The next day at school was even worse. Word had already spread. As I walked down the hallway, I heard whispers. "Hey, did you hear about Emily? I always thought she was too smart to be real. No wonder she got that scholarship nomination." My favorite teacher, Mrs. Anderson, pulled me aside after class. "Emily, I've heard some concerning rumors. I hope they're not true." I fought back tears. "They're not, Mrs. Anderson. Someone's trying to frame me." She looked at me skeptically. "I hope so, Emily. The school will be investigating this, you know." Later that day, I received an email. My scholarship nomination was on hold pending an investigation. I felt like my world was crumbling around me. After school, I met up with Sophia and Mike at our favorite diner. As soon as I saw them, I broke down. Hey, Mike said, pulling me into a hug. We've got your back, Em. We know you'd never cheat. Sophia nodded fiercely. That witch is trying to ruin your life. We're not going to let her get away with it. I wiped my eyes, feeling a little less alone. But how could everyone believe her? Even my parents seemed unsure. Mike leaned in, his eyes full of determination. We'll find a way to prove those screenshots are fake. There's got to be a way to trace them or something. Yeah, Sophia chimed in. We'll talk to anyone who'll listen. Your teachers, your classmates. We'll make them see the truth. For the first time that day, I felt a glimmer of hope. Thanks, guys. I don't know what I'd do without you. As we talked, I overheard a conversation from the next booth. Mrs. Johnson, the town gossip, was talking. Did you hear about Karen's niece? Caught cheating red-handed. Karen told me all about it, said she always knew that girl was trouble. I clenched my fists, fighting back a fresh wave of tears. Sophia squeezed my hand. Don't listen to them, Em. We're going to fix this. Those idiots will be eating their words soon enough. I nodded, trying to believe her, but as I looked around the diner, at the sideways glances and heard the hushed conversations, I couldn't help but wonder, how was I going to get out of this mess? The next few weeks were a blur of sleepless nights and anxiety-filled days, but I wasn't about to let Aunt Karen win. Sophia, Mike, and I decided to launch our own investigation. We started by closely examining the screenshots Karen had presented. Something about them just didn't look right. Guys, look at this, Mike said, pointing at his laptop screen. The font in these messages is slightly off. It's not the standard iPhone font. Sophia leaned in. You're right, and the bubble color is a bit weird too. I felt a spark of hope. So they're fake. Mike nodded confidently. I bet my life on it. In fact, he started typing furiously. Yep, here it is. There are websites that let you generate fake text conversations. I bet that's what Karen used. We high-fived, but our celebration was short-lived. We still needed undeniable proof. A few days later, I overheard my cousin Tyler on the phone while I was at their house, picking up some books I had lent him. Mom, I can't do this anymore. I feel awful about what we did to Emily, he said, his voice shaky. I froze, my heart pounding. What was he talking about? I know you wanted me to get better grades, but framing Emily wasn't the answer. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Quietly, I recorded the last bit of the conversation on my phone before slipping out of the house. When I played the recording for Sophia and Mike, their jaws dropped. That snake, Sophia exclaimed. She set you up because Tyler was struggling in school. Mike looked thoughtful. This is good, but we need more. We need to get Tyler to confess everything. We hatched a plan. Mike created a fake social media account, posing as a new kid in town who was also struggling with grades. Over the next week, he slowly gained Tyler's trust. Tyler eventually opened up, spilling everything in a series of messages. My mom's been on my case about my grades. She even suggested I should cheat. When I told her I was thinking about it, she got this weird look in her eye. Next thing I know, she's showing me how to use a website to make fake text messages. She said we were going to teach Emily a lesson. I feel so guilty. I felt a mix of anger and pity for Tyler. He was just a kid caught in his mother's toxic web. But the real bombshell came when Mike managed to trace the IP address used to create the fake screenshots. Em, you're not going to believe this, Mike said, excitement in his voice. The IP address leads directly to your Aunt Karen's home computer. I couldn't help but let out a whoop of joy. We've got her. Sophia was already planning our next move. We need to confront her at the next family gathering, make her confess in front of everyone. I nodded, feeling a mix of anticipation and nervousness. You're right. It's time to end this once and for all. As we prepared for the confrontation, a twinge of sadness hit me. How had things gotten so bad that my own aunt would go to such lengths to discredit me? But I pushed those thoughts aside. It was time to clear my name and show everyone the truth about Aunt Karen. Ready for this? Mike asked, squeezing my hand. I took a deep breath and nodded. More than ready. Let's do this. As we headed to my house for the family dinner, I felt an unexpected calm settle over me. No matter what happened next, the truth was finally going to come out. The family gathering was already in full swing when I decided it was time. I caught Mike's eye across the room, and he gave me a subtle nod. This was it. Everyone, I have something important to share. I announced, my voice steadier than I felt. The room fell silent. Aunt Karen looked smug. What is it, Emily? Finally ready to confess. I took another deep breath. Actually, Aunt Karen, I think you're the one who needs to confess. Her face paled as I pulled out my phone. I played Tyler's recorded conversation and then showed everyone the messages Mike had obtained. The room was dead silent. And that's not all, I continued. We traced the IP address used to create those fake screenshots. Care to guess where it came from, Aunt Karen? Uncle Bob turned to his wife, his face a mix of disbelief and fury. Karen, what have you done? Aunt Karen's facade crumbled. She burst into tears. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I was just so frustrated with Tyler's grades, and Emily is always so perfect. My mom stood up, her voice shaking with anger. You framed my daughter out of jealousy, Karen. How could you? Uncle Bob's face was hard. I can't believe this, Karen. I want a divorce. The room erupted into chaos. Amid the shouting and crying, I felt a hand on my shoulder. It was my dad. Emily, I'm so sorry we ever doubted you. Can you forgive us? I hugged him tight. Of course, Dad, you didn't know. The next few weeks were a whirlwind. My name was cleared at school, and my scholarship nomination was reinstated. The committee was even impressed by how I handled the false accusations. Aunt Karen became a pariah in our small town. She lost her job when the scandal broke, and most of the family stopped speaking to her. I felt bad for my cousins, especially Tyler. They were victims in this too. One day, Tyler approached me after school. Emily, I'm so sorry about everything. I should have spoken up sooner. I gave him a small smile. It's okay, Tyler. I know it wasn't easy for you either. How about I help you with your studies, for real this time? His face lit up. Really? You do that after everything? I nodded. We're family, and it's not your fault your mom did what she did. As the dust settled, I found myself packing for college. I got my scholarship, and I was ready for a fresh start. Looking around my room, I thought about everything that had happened. You okay? Sophie asked, helping me pack. I smiled. Yeah, I am. You know, as crazy as it sounds, I'm almost grateful for what happened. It taught me a lot about standing up for myself and the importance of integrity. Mike chimed in from where he was taping up boxes. Plus, you totally kicked butt handling it all. You're going to crush it in college, Em. I laughed. Thanks, guys. I couldn't have done it without you. As I zipped up my last suitcase, I thought about Aunt Karen. Last I heard, she was living in a small apartment, trying to rebuild her life. Part of me felt sorry for her, but I knew I couldn't let her toxicity affect me anymore. Now that my story's over, I have a question for you. If you were in Emily's shoes, would you have forgiven Tyler and offered to tutor him, or would you have cut ties with all of Karen's children? Is it fair to help those connected to someone who tried to destroy your future? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective matters, and we'd love to hear from you.